Hey, hi everyone. I'm Shane Snipes here coming in from the Borough of Manhattan Community College in New York City. This is day 3 of actual conversations that I've been having with entrepreneurs as part of the National Entrepreneurship Week. I am super excited to have another university on the webinar with me today and talking about the things that we're working on. All right, so take us a step back just because I want people to really get this, and this will be part of the final cut that we'll do for this webinar. When we're talking about the Women Entrepreneurship Week, your main objective is to do what?
Our main objective is to celebrate women founders of startups and entrepreneurial companies all over the world. So women are underrepresented as entrepreneurs. And if you read any article about why, the rationale for why that might be, at least one reason that always comes up is that women don't have other female role models to look at in the startup world. And so what we're trying to do is, one, just have the mass of a week where last year we had 76 universities and nonprofits that held events all during the same week. So have this critical mass of celebrating women entrepreneurs around the world, but also to put, since this is mostly academia based, to put front and center in front of female college students, successful role models that they can look at and see, okay, that's a path forward if I want to be an entrepreneur someday.
Yeah. What are your ways to sort of, beyond the women, the other dimension of women entrepreneurs is diverse women entrepreneurs. What are some of the ways that you might address that or have addressed that?
Beyond Women Entrepreneurship Week?
No, meaning as part of Women Entrepreneurship Week, what are some of the ways that diversity plays a role within that?
Yeah, so I think, if a university participates in Women Entrepreneurship Week, they can set it up however they want. So they could do a big public event, like we do a whole day-long conference, or they can do something more small and intimate. They can have an alum come in and speak to a classroom of students. And that can make it that's very easy to set up. You just have to have an alum who's willing to come in, which is, pretty easy to find, and a professor who's willing to open up his or her classroom to it. For us here, our speakers, we always try to have diversity in every type of format. We do have all women speakers. That is something that we've just done from the beginning. That was something that our board of directors was interested in doing. And so diversity can come in many different ways.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Talk me through the center itself. You guys have an established center there. What are some of the things that you've seen change and transform with the center over the last number of years that it's been around?
Yeah, the center's been open 5 years. When my boss, Dennis Bone, came on board as the first employee, he was given a blank sheet of paper to create the center. And so he did research about, the best entrepreneurship centers around the country. And he wanted to create a center where it was interdisciplinary across campus. Only a third of the students in our intro course are from the business school. The rest come from all over campus because we're trying to create diverse teams, because the curriculum is very experiential and team-based and very hands-on. So we want to have in that classroom, an arts major and a science major and an education major and a business major instead of just 4 business majors. We also have a very innovative 3D printing lab. It's called the MIX Center, where MIX stands for Making and Innovating for X, where X is the unknown. We have 50 digital devices, mostly 3D printers, but also some scanners and other makerspace devices. And in the 2 years that we've had that lab, we've printed more than 8,000 3D print devices. And that again is a resource for the entire university. Any student can use it. And that's been really popular throughout the campus.
Yeah, and I'm just because I like to show people what you're talking about. So I love screen shares, and that's the great thing about doing stuff on Google Hangout, is I can show people what you guys are up to, and they can see the website. Your website's fantastic, by the way. I love the design and the simplicity of it. It really captures that. You talked about the Mix Lab, which is a great piece. I noticed you guys have a pitch contest as well.
Yeah, so we have a pitch contest. The first 4 years, we had one prize each year of $10,000. And then this year, 2018, the finals is always in May. We're expanding the prize pool dramatically, thanks to the support and generosity of AJ Kubani, who's an alum and the founder and CEO of bulbhead.com. He has funded the contest the entire time. And he, so that $500,000 check that you see is he's made a commitment of $100,000 for the next 5 years. And so $20,000 is for administrative and all the expenses of running the contest, and then $80,000 each year for the prize pool. So we're gonna have a first prize of $50,000, second $20,000, and third $10,000. So we now, with that prize pool, it's the largest prize pool for a student contest, a collegiate contest in New Jersey. So we're really excited about that.
That's excellent. That's amazing. I love it. And it's a big driver for me. So I'll let you know, quite a few of my students are really interested in continuing on a 4-year degree program around entrepreneurship. And there are only a few of those in the New York City area. So I am super excited to refer them over to you guys and figure out ways that I can get, we graduate about, well, right now in our class, we have about 195 or so students who are studying small business and entrepreneurship in the 2-year degree program. So it would be exciting to see them continue on, those who did want to move into entrepreneurship. So this is a fantastic opportunity for them. And they love, anytime you can put some cash in front of students, they're going to work hard.
Oh, I mean, we would love them. I'll alert our admissions office that we'll be receiving a slew of applications from BMCC.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see these kinds of programs coming along and really supporting entrepreneurship. When you think about the entrepreneurship degree program specifically to support women entrepreneurs, have you seen a trend or a transformation or a change in how women are received within the entrepreneurship space?
I think like anything, I mean, so 2018 right now is a big year for women. A lot of attention, the Me Too movement. And so it'll be interesting to see this year whether we expect, I mean, every year Women Entrepreneurship Week has grown as far as the amount of participation. And it'll be interesting to see whether percentage-wise it goes up even more this year because women are having such a high profile in 2018. So I think, the most common way that we think about it is women helping women, but it's also really important for men to be helping women. And because the startup community is so male dominated, men, business owners outnumber women 2 to 1, and the tech space, women only are owners of less than 10%. It's really important that men be helping women and helping women founders move forward. And so one thing we do with our all-day conference, the audience is more than 90% women. And so I do active marketing and outreach to say to men, hey, you want to be in this audience too? I haven't been that successful because it just more women keep coming. But I think, to answer your question, it's really important that men be involved in mentoring women. And it's still very important for women to see that female role model, which is what our overall goal is. But we can't discount the role of men in helping women start up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one of my most, one of my proudest moments was actually a group of women who are entrepreneurs in New York City approached me and said, are you interested in helping us, form this group of women entrepreneurs who are connected to women funders and men funders, right? So usually there's like a division that starts to happen in the funding space between those two worlds. And so the goal was to really merge those two pieces together. And I think that's an important role. And because it's funders, oftentimes this stuff happens in private situations where these groups of angel groups want to get together and support each other. But like I said, they still tend to cluster according to gender. And our real goal was to diversify that through a bunch of different pitch contests and breakfasts with the people who are the entrepreneurs and connecting them to women entrepreneurs, but with the mix of the funders. And I don't see that very often. Like you were saying, I don't really see, I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, I mean, the funding world is, again, very male dominated. There are organizations, I'm sure you know about Golden Seeds. We just had Joan Zeep, who's involved with that as a speaker for a funding event that we did 2 weeks ago. So there are these specialty firms that fund just women, which is great. But then because there's so much that's male-dominated funding, we need to have women getting a bigger slice of that pie as well.
Yeah, yeah, and the entry point for the reason why we had talked about and had this conversation was I was at this meeting at the Center for Social Innovation in New York City, which is focused on social entrepreneurship, which is another piece of the conversation I want to have with you today. But in that conversation I was having with them at CSI, they wanted to blend things, to make things work better together, and to take that large pie of men and male dominated funding organizations, whether it's venture capital or angel organizations, and directly plug them into the combination of the conversation. Because when you bring male dominated venture capitalists into the room, they tend to become the dominant voice in that space. And I see a lot of funding contests really go in that direction, where they have these VCs and these venture capitalists, and it's like a panel of men sitting there judging the women, right? Or it's a panel of women, venture capitalists and angel funders judging women. It's not a combination of the two or a strong bond between those. And so I'm glad we were able to do that. When you're talking about social entrepreneurship, though, I would love to hear some of the ways that MSU is moving in that direction, what you've done in that space. So give me the highlights.
Yeah, so we haven't, because we've sort of carved out this specialty with women entrepreneurs, we haven't done a whole lot yet with social entrepreneurship. However, some of our teams that have pitched in the past have had a social entrepreneurship angle. It's definitely something that we support and encourage, but it hasn't been something where we say this is where we want to make our mark. We've really focused more on women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know there was something about in one of the panels from the highlights from last year at the Women Entrepreneurship Week, there was a focus on entrepreneurship in that panel. And anytime I see like people having conversations about social entrepreneurship issues, I get really excited because I think there's now a chance to weave social change and social issues into actual businesses, right? It's not always about starting a nonprofit. It's about building businesses that are in fact for profit, but they're helping to solve social problems as well. So hopefully that'll be something that will continue to grow.
Yeah, and you're referring to, so last year we had an evening event where the entire panel was women social entrepreneurs. And we had a woman who created a national nonprofit to help students who were DACA dreamers get into medical school, because she found that she had such problems as a dreamer student herself getting into medical schools because she didn't have the documentation she needed. Then there was a film company doing very inspirational social entrepreneurship, another nonprofit that was funding entrepreneurs in challenged areas of North Jersey and helping them get the funding that they need because funding is so hard to get. So that was a wonderful panel, and we did want to, in that case, highlight women who were doing social entrepreneurship, and it was very well received by the attendees.
Yeah, I think that area is growing and growing every time it's presented in a way that connects the messages together. It's great. What are some of the ways? And I don't know, I'm not sure if you are, but are you starting to talk more about? I know that I heard the 3D printing side of things, virtual reality, augmented reality, as well as like fintech and blockchain, which are sort of the leading edge components. But that's the direction a lot of funding as well as growth in the startup world has happened. Is there specific initiatives to pull women into those spaces as well?
Yeah, I mean, we just we hosted a panel that an outside organization did about blockchain. That was just last week, and that was very popular as well. And there was a woman who was one of the panelists. You know, again, for us, anytime that we do something as a panel, again, that was an outside organization that we were hosting, but we always try to make sure that women are part of the equation and represented in some way among the speakers. You know, and for us, innovation comes in all forms. I mean, we're definitely interested in blockchain, what's going on there. And then, you know, just recapping from before, our MIX Lab Innovation Center is a resource for all students on campus And so we have these 50 3D printers and scanners, but really, anytime I walk in there, it's a complete mess. It's actually messier than my office because they're making something. They're using clay. There's tarps on the floor so that the carpet doesn't get dirty. So, innovation can be as simple as something as like clay, right? So we keep thinking blockchain and AI and virtual reality, but, at the end of the day, it's also making something with your hands, which is what's going on in our MIX lab every day.
Yeah. And that makerspace where you see something happening physically in the world. And when you say makerspace, it can be any kind of making. It doesn't have to be the 3D printing side of it. That's fantastic. Yeah, I feel that's true. When folks are interested in MSU and the entrepreneurship components, what are some of the easiest ways for them to get involved with you?
So here on campus, they can take our ENTR 201 Entrepreneurial Mindset course to get started. That's the gateway for our certificate program, our minor, and our major that'll be starting up in the fall. And then for outsiders, they can join our meetup group, Montclair Entrepreneurs Meetup. Just Google that and be, another person added to the list of 4,000 who are members. And again, our events are free and open to the public. So anybody can walk into any event and network with us, network with the other attendees that are there, have some free pizza. So we're very receptive to people getting involved. And our MIX lab, the Innovation Center, is also open to the community. We do place a priority since there are so many requests and such high demand for it, that students are the #1 priority, and then alumni, and then the outside community. But if there are people that want to print something, they can contact us. Our website is montclair.edu/entrepreneur, and get more information about how they might be able to print. And because all our printers are cloud-based, so they can be printing, designing and sending their print from your school or Japan or down the street or the other side of campus. So that's something that's really attractive to people in the community to be able to be getting involved with our Innovation Center as well.
Wow, you guys have a great setup there. I'm excited to refer my students over to it. Such great information and such a great program to talk about. I'm glad you were able to join today and really share that information. Sorry for the audio technical difficulties.
I'm sorry, that was on my end. But I'm excited to meet students. So, if and when they come, have them look me up, and I can, counsel them directly about what's available here and get them involved. Yeah,
absolutely. I'll refer them over to you, as I know quite a few of them do want to continue on into the future.
And your BMCC is going to be involved with Women Entrepreneurship Week this year?
We are definitely going to be involved in Women Entrepreneurship Week in October coming up, so of 2018. It's going to be a blowout event, though, I'm sure, because the power of women here in New York City. They show up for things, and they really do make it powerful when it comes to startups and a whole startup arena in this space. It's really booming here in New York City. So I'm excited to host some things over the course of that week.
And it's booming in New Jersey.
Yes, of course.
Jersey's always competing with New York, so.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today, Sharon, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm excited to continue conversations via email and other programs.
Okay, and great talking to you, Shane.
All right, bye, everybody.